Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. Due to a hardware failure on Friday the 15th, the video portion of this episode of Packard Pokes At was lost. I hope you will still enjoy the show in its basic audio format. Now, here is Packard Pokes At Vaginas and Other Politicians. Enjoy.
You're on in 3, 2, 1.
This is Packard Pokes At, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokes At. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic. And joining us on the far right, or the far left, actually, over out in the left of the side of the country is Medusa Rants.
Woo! California.
Dan and Joe will not be joining us tonight. They have other obligations. But filling in for Dan or Joe, whoever, is for his first appearance, so please be kind, is Wayne B. Hacker of Random Access.
Yay!
Hello.
Welcome,
Hello,
Wayne.
Medusa. Nice to talk to you.
Yes, nice to talk
Thank
to you,
you,
too. You are so very welcome. So,
And greetings to everybody in the chat room.
yes. So everybody, please be gentle with him. It's his first time on the air, and we'll try not to beat him up too much here in the show.
Shucks. Never get to have any fun.
No fun for you.
No fun for me.
Anyway, all right, let's get on with our first topic. Now, about a year ago, CERN had come across something they thought was really remarkable. They came across something they thought was neutrinos they thought were going faster than the speed of light. It turns out they were wrong, and they were happy to admit that they were wrong. They had found that the experiment they had done was that there was a mechanical failure, so it was processing the information incorrectly. It was part of an opera experiment. Physicists tracked how long it takes for neutrinos generated at CERN to reach a detector 730 kilometers away out in Italy. The best part I liked about this of this story was that after it said basically an unexpected result was put up for scrutiny, thoroughly investigated, and resolved in part thanks to collaboration between normally competing experiments. And that's how science moves forward. That's exactly how science works. If there's a problem or science doesn't exactly get it right, we keep at it and say, here, you guys look at it, tell us if we're right, and if we are, great. If we're not, that's great too. Medusa, your thoughts?
God bless the redundancy of science. It gets us so far. You know, the text section is over my head.
Yes.
Yeah. It's where, Packard, where's the text section?
Mm-hmm.
In space? This is truly remarkable, but I know nothing about it.
Right.
But I think I should say that it's really cool, and those are my comments.
Cool.
Meager as they may be. I think that it does show that scientific research is something that never gives up and never surrenders. I know that sounds tacky, but it never does. It keeps going and it keeps investigating until it gets to a right theory that everybody can live with. So
right.
That's pretty incredible.
Yes. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a really interesting story. It's been an interesting story in the public for about a year now. The experiment went on for about 2 years before the public announcement was made of their questionable results.
Right.
Detecting these neutrinos is very, very difficult. It's something like, the words they use are they're weakly interactive with normal matter.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, and I don't even know how. I mean, I guess you can do this calculation, but doesn't make any sense physically. But if you fire one neutrino at some lead, the probability that it makes it through lead, in order to make that probability 50%, the lead has to be like a light year thick. 6 trillion miles of of lead has a 50% chance of stopping a neutrino. So which
Wow.
basically means when you fire a neutrino, it just goes, and you never detect it. You can't detect them unless you fire billions upon billions upon billions of them. So for 2 years, that's what they did. They fired, every day, millions every day, and they got a few detections every day. And over a period of about 2 years, they got about 15,000 detections.
Wow.
So this is very, 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 very difficult. So it's interesting. And the whole result came down to they're like 730 miles apart, 730 kilometers from where they fired to where they were detecting them, and then they just fired straight through the earth. They don't, it's not like they don't dig a tunnel or anything because nothing's going to stop these things. So you use your GPS, or you figure out, just through the earth which way you need to point, and you fire in that direction.
Right.
And they get there, and the difference was like in the timing. That caused the error was 60 nanoseconds.
60 nanoseconds.
Which is like that would the error in distance would have to be like 60 feet.
Wow.
So they have to the distance between where they're firing and where they're detecting by within 60 feet, and they knew it within a few feet, a few inches. I mean, they knew how far apart they were.
Wow.
So that wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
And
that's
and they kind of allowed for about a few feet, 20. I don't know. I think it was 20 nanoseconds of difference, maybe a little bit less, 10 nanoseconds of difference.
Right. It just makes me want.
Built an error, and it was like 60, so it's huge. It's like,
right.
6 times your error, so something's up.
Right.
And there's been some controversy in the scientific community with the way they announced the result, because they didn't really announce it as saying we detected faster than light neutrinos. I mean, they really did say we have no idea how to interpret our result, because it does seem that they're faster than light, but nobody has any explanation of what that would mean, because there is no physics, there's no understanding of physics that makes that possible. So,
right.
And we understand physics. We understand things like general relativity, which is what it's tied to. We understand that really, really well. There's some things we don't know, but what we know about, what we understand, we know so well that for this result to have been true, what we know would have to be wrong. There would be things that we have already done in the past where we would have seen the results would have that effect would have rippled through to other results in the past.
Right.
And we didn't see those results in the past, so this could not have happened here.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a matter of didn't understand it. It's like it just could have happened, because there's it's not even a matter of we have to come up with a new theory, because even with a new theory, you have to explain the old results.
Right.
So all that was so. They were just there was the controversy was that they shouldn't have gone forth with the public without knowing what the problem was. But their idea was we wanted everybody in the world to work on this. We didn't want to keep this in our little community and just kind of spread it word of mouth. I mean, they had been doing that for a couple of months, and so this was pretty well known within the community that this was happening.
Right.
But they finally said, and it was, I think it was great for the scientific world, because it stimulated a lot of conversation.
Yes.
It got a lot of people who are not experts in particle physics, but who have a pretty good understanding of relativity and physics and science in general, to put forth ideas of what they should have looked at or what they could have missed. And it was all stuff they had done and they didn't miss. But it stimulated a lot of interest in the area, which was great. And America needs interest in particle physics, because we closed our super collider programs years ago, and now we're losing out to the world.
Right. Wait. We only have
go to Europe now to do particle physics.
Right. Wait. We only have an hour.
Sorry.
But in defense of Wayne, he will speak for me too, but I don't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Wait. A lot of this stuff. So after you start talking about going through so much lead, it just start now. I feel like Medusa. It was going over my head. No, it was just that if these things go through the earth and whatever, now I know where all these sharp pains keep coming from. I'm getting shot with neutrinos.
Right through you. They're not even hitting you. They just go right through you.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're just
right.
That's what's causing it. Our next story here. MIT has created a fuel cell to power to power an implanted brain-computer interface. Now the neuroengineers at MIT they're always working on something new. And now this glucose-powered fuel cell allows it to be it was crafted out of platinum, which just so coincidentally, is when you put platinum in a human body, the body goes, I can deal with that. So I don't have to worry about. There's no rejection from the body. Say this doesn't belong here, which is a big problem for like people with implants or other things like that, where they have to worry about stuff in their body going to the back of the doctor and say, hey, I'm getting an infection here because, this thing's not working right. Now, what's kind of interesting is that the glucose that it's powered off of, you'll end up maybe feeling a little bit more hungry because it's kind of like drawing energy from there. So just something else from your body that you have to get used to. Medusa, your thoughts?
Oh, wow. This is just incredible. I think this is one of the greatest finds in scientific history. I mean, I'm thinking about the ramifications for people who have prosthetic limbs, and the article, as I read it, said that this would be able to transmit your thoughts to your artificial limbs, be able to operate them.
Mm-hmm.
That is just incredible to me. I'm thinking of that young girl, Amy Copeland, who lost her leg, half her abdomen, both her feet, and all her fingers.
Is this the girl that had the flesh-eating disease?
Right, right. And she's going to need some serious prosthetics.
Yes.
And I would think that she would be somebody who would be a great person to try this on. What's really wonderful, like you said, is it's basically just a glucose-rich fluid that insulates your brain and spine. And because there are no cells, this means there's no white blood cell that can reject the fuel cell.
Right.
So it's also very safe to put in your body,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that is remarkable. So
Yes.
again, my hat's off to these young engineers. They're coming up with some fantastic, new finds and products for medicine and science and industry.
Yes. It's amazing what science comes up with. I mean, who knows
Truly.
what more this could lead to. I mean, other than just artificial limbs, what other things... I mean, we eventually, we could probably hook into computers this way at some point.
Absolutely.
It would be really cool. This way, we could add an extra, if a person's got amnesia, they got an extra hard drive.
I need that.
I need that too. I was just like, but can you
I'll
imagine
take
if you had,
6 for Christmas.
can you imagine having a hard drive crash? And you're like, my whole life was on these hard drives.
Well, you still have a reason for memory loss now.
Yeah. It would really suck if they got stolen. Say, hey, you got my memories.
Or, gee, Mom, my hard drive's crashed. I'm really sorry. I forgot about Dad's birthday. To work.
Yeah, that'll work. I lost my files. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is just amazing technology. It's we're getting better and better at detecting and manipulating, handfuls of electrons for power and for information storage. Where in the past, like computer memory would take millions of atoms to store one bit of information.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the technology. It's not commercially available yet, but in
No,
the
not
lab
yet.
we have the technology to use 10, 12 atoms to store one bit of information, which gives you a 100,000 fold reduction in memory storage space requirements, and that means less power is required for operating computers. So things like this are just can do amazing things in the future when we sort of get it figured out. And all the things are dovetailing together well, with the platinum being very non-reactive to the cells to begin with, and then there not being any cells to speak of to worry about anyway, so that further reduces any kind of problem. So yeah, it's neat. And there's some really great videos on YouTube, prosthetic demonstrations. So we're starting to,
Wow.
that field itself is taking off. So when you incorporate this power supply with with the technology that of being able to operate these prosthetics. There's a really good one that was viral about a year ago with a guy touching his reaching out and holding his girlfriend's hand, his fiance's hand, with his prosthetic hand. The first time he'd done that, or
nice.
the accident.
That's
or maybe
incredible.
Yes. You know, it's interesting that they said here it could be also be used for decoding for like a bionic eye. You know, like the $6 Million Man had the bionic eye. He could like see really far, like telescope with his bionic eye. But I mean,
the story I read yesterday about using stem cells to grow things that pre-eye cells. You know, like
oh, that's
almost,
cool.
Yeah, so
yeah, that'd be kind of cool. This way, people who have low vision, impaired vision, or no vision, they could possibly be able to see it again at some point. That'd be really cool.
And
All right.
the same thing for hearing too, as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
You know, the possibilities are endless for this technology. We just have to see it how it works in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
each other.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get into our next topic. Now, Charlie Crist, the former governor of Florida. Well, apparently there was an apparent cover-up that paid off two guys for affairs with Charlie Crist. Now, the topic of the thing is that he apparently while he was drunk at one point, he had made he was basically hitting on another man named Greer. Apparently Greer's been nicknamed Porky Pig, I guess, because I saw him. It was not very attractive. But apparently they paid off several guys. That one of them was that they asked these two men to leave the state, because they were worried about him getting involved with these people here. So I mean, it was just. And there was also an attempt, apparently, operating a golf cart and trying to run some people over. It just these GOP governors, they're so far against gays, and then it turns out later on it comes out that they're gay. I think there was a story not too long ago that people who are mostly against gay people are generally the ones who are the most gay. They're keeping it hidden. But if you're not gay, hey, you're not gay. But if you're really opposed to it, there's chances are you're probably gay. I mean, I have no problem with gay people. I have no problem with gay people at all. Do see your thoughts.
Honestly, Florida again.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, the colostomy bag of the nation. You know, I've been following the Sandusky trial and have had to listen to so much male-on-male sex and slapping and soaping, and this is just vile stuff here. It would just be easier if Mr. Chris had just come out of the closet, and none of this would have happened in the first place.
Right.
You know, but it's also salacious, and I mean, he paid a couple of guys, didn't you say,
yes,
to leave the state.
Yep.
Does he think he's in the mob or what? He's just another gay guy that got caught, that's out of the closet, dragged, kicking and screaming this time, but dragged out of the closet, you know, through his own nefarious habits. I don't know who Porky the Pig is, but yeah, this is just sordid stuff here in politics, and it doesn't surprise me that it happened in Florida. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my comments. Florida again.
Yeah, Florida is. I don't know what it is with Florida.
It's either Florida or Arizona, Packard.
I am so glad I don't live in either.
Exactly.
Really, I am so glad I don't live in either. It just, those two states are just. Can we cut off? I'll refer to the Bugs Bunny cartoon. Can we cut off Florida? We'll give them Arizona as a bonus. Wayne, you're.
They can put as an island.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll give it
Arizona. Beautiful.
We'll give it to Cuba. We'll give Florida to Cuba, and that way they don't have to swim all that way.
That's nice. They have a bridge to our country. We can have Arizona too. With Jan Brewer.
There you go.
They do with her.
There you go. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, Charlie Crist, though in retrospect, compared to Rick Scott, he's probably was not all that bad. So, yeah, these stories are never good for anybody. People, it is really sad that people have to struggle with their sexual identity in this country so much. I mean, this, I don't want to make it look like I don't want to mock him for the way he suffered. I think it's tragic that he's used that to, for such being so virulently anti-gay, and that's just it's a common manifestation of that psychology. But it's. Those people are in a tough spot. I mean, it's not like he's not laughing and cackling and happy that he's making life tough on gays. He's really fighting demons. And it's really sad. And this is actually, in the long run, this is probably good for him. Most stories of people coming out are good. And that's why I like this. It Gets Better campaign, because it sends that message that yes, you're struggling, but come on out. It's good out here. We shouldn't be forcing people out, though. That's I got issues with that. But yeah,
I don't have issues if you're in politics and you're playing both sides of the field.
Right. Yeah. That's really where.
That's where I want to take it out of, and that's where I find the shame in it is in using people and manipulating your constituency.
Yes. Yeah, it is a big problem, especially when I
can't condone that.
Yeah, the GOPs are the ones that are generally pushing this stuff. This anti-gay legislation right now, it's just really sickening because they can't let people be who they are because they're so far up the religious people's asses that they can't even see daylight anymore because they know that's where they get their bread and butter. And I'm willing to bet you that half of them that are so vehemently say they're gay against gay people and probably gay themselves. That's just what the base they're playing to. It's just to the religious base, and because they know right now that they are it's at 80% right now. But I'm so thankful that's going down slowly, but it's going down.
Yes, it is going down.
We'll get into that in a little while.
Oh, God.
Our next story here, Michigan legislature is trying to ram through a radical anti-abortion measure, a bill that would basically outlaw abortion after 20 weeks, regardless of the woman's fetus's health, is being pushed through the Michigan legislature this last Thursday. And the measure didn't include an exemption for rape or incest. And there was a couple women on the floor, the Democrats that were on the floor there. They're saying, hey, this doesn't. Don't be forcing your religious practices on us, and so forth. And I actually have an audio clip here.
Representative Byram offers one amendment identified as Amendment 2I.
The question before the House is on the adoption of Amendment 2I. The clerk will open the board. Members may vote at their desks. The amendment is not adopted. Are there further amendments? Are there? Representative, you are out of order.
This legislation, it was 3 banker boxes. There are more than 10,000 cards. This legislation does a lot of things, Mr. Speaker. It regulates business, requiring exorbitant insurance policies to be purchased, which will result in clinics closing doors, causing people to lose their jobs, and denying women their constitutional rights. Yesterday, we heard from the representative from Holland speak about religious freedom. I'm Jewish. I keep kosher in my home. I have 2 sets of dishes, one for meat and one for dairy, and another 2 sets of dishes on top of that for Passover. Judaism believes that therapeutic abortions, namely abortions performed in order to preserve the life of the mother, are not only permissible, but mandatory. The stage of pregnancy does not matter. Wherever there is a question of the life of the mother or that of the unborn child, Jewish law rules in favor of preserving the life of the mother. The status of the fetus as human life does not equal that of the mother. I have not asked you to adopt and adhere to my religious beliefs. Why are you asking me to adopt yours? And finally, Mr. Speaker, I'm flattered that you're all so interested in my vagina, but no means no.
There we go. There was another woman who said that basically she was the clip goes on, but we don't have that much time. The one of the ladies said that basically we should put a ban on men because they were saying if you don't like the fact that we get pregnant, have sex with somebody, sex with something else other than women because we're the ones that are going to get pregnant, and you need to acknowledge that. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, the honorable woman spoke for me well, saying, stay out of my vagina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sick and tired of men. I don't care if she's Jewish.
Right.
I don't care what religion any of the members of the Michigan House is. We're going down the yellow brick road again with this legislation to the Supreme Court,
Yep.
which is a profound. You know how I feel about this.
Yes.
Bringing such frivolous lawsuits and cases to the doorstep of the most powerful court, and they can barely handle what they've got now. So, I have a vagina. I take care of my vagina. If I don't want to get pregnant, I stay away from men.
Right. Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
And I want men to stay away from my vagina. And I want them to stop talking about everybody's vagina. It seems that they are vagina obsessed.
Yeah, it definitely does that. There's a picture it goes that's I've seen on Facebook. It says, I see the problem here, ma'am. There's a Republican up in your vagina.
There's a whole house of Republicans and senators
Yes.
in my vagina, and I've been trying to pull them out and extract them, and it's expensive and time consuming.
Yes, it is.
It is, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. I think if Vonnie were here, she would agree with me totally, 100%. My hat's just off to the woman who so eloquently spoke to the other House member.
Yeah.
She's certainly more eloquent than I am, but I parked my car in her garage.
There you go. There you go. I if I were a woman, I would too. I mean, just the whole attack on women this political season.
I mean, or just give every woman a coat hanger. A brand new coat hanger, shiny one.
I think that's what the Republicans want. They want women to use the coat hanger because they don't realize that abortion is not taking the life of a baby. A baby is something that's outside the body. A fetus is not. And
No.
all abortion does is it saves the life of the mother. So this way she's not up there doing exactly that and end up hurting herself and end up dying. And that's where this came from originally.
Right, and the question is, do you want to have more babies?
Yes.
Then take care of the vagina owner.
That's right. Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was an interesting story. I think there was a follow-up to it with the two women in question. She got in some trouble
Yes.
for using the word vagina on the Senate floor.
Yeah.
And they've been, barred from discussing
For
using
2
the
days.
word ever again or something.
Yeah, no, they were banned from the floor for 2 days because they said the word vagina. And the state representative was on the show, was on the Rachel Maddow show, and I listened to her. They said that the word vagina is in their state's constitution at least, or some of the wording there at least 3 times. At least 3 times. So I don't see how if it makes them uncomfortable, that's really too bad. That's really too bad because it's an atomically accurate description of a woman's area there. The vagina, that's exactly what the vagina is. It's like me saying penis. It's an exact
Would
medical...
they throw you out if you said penis?
I don't know. If they were saying, if this was an issue, try to stop men from having an erection, and say, well, it had to do with the penis. I wonder if they would actually say, if they would say, hey, you're going to be banned for saying the word penis.
I would like someone to try.
Yeah, that would be. They'll probably, when they are allowed back in, I'm wondering if that's what they'll do, because they'll say if they say penis and vagina at the same in the same sentence.
That'll be a good trick on the floor. I want to be there for that. Thank you.
I know someone will record it somewhere. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just, 1984, right? Double plus ungood to do this. When you change words, you can change thoughts, you can change attitudes, you can manipulate people because you restrict the words they can use to articulate the thoughts they have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a great way to control people. So shutting down this word really makes debating abortion. It takes it away from a scientific or any kind of other women's health issue, and it only makes it a religious issue because you can talk about it in terms of the only way you can talk about it is in terms of religion if you can't use the word vagina. So it's to their advantage. Yeah, it's so well planned.
Yes, and the GOP, they want to talk about it, but they don't actually say it. That's what just kills me. We want to
talk around it.
Yeah, like it's going to if they actually have to speak about it, makes it actually puts credence to it. It's like if I'm going to talk about a rock, but I'm going to talk about all the rocks around the big rock. That big rock doesn't make any difference then. But as long as we can get these little rocks around it to, ignore the big rock, then it's okay. We don't talk about the big rock. It doesn't make any sense. It's a vagina, people. If you're not comfortable talking about it, don't legislate it.
No, there's a penis, there's a vagina, there's sperm, there's an egg. They come together.
Yep.
They make a zygote, which makes a fetus. And if you're lucky, you get a baby when it drops out of the vagina.
Yep.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Right, and take care of the vaginal owner.
Right.
So you can keep having more, because apparently people like babies. I don't know why.
Well, they're cute until they
drool and they leak.
Yeah,
and they fecal matter.
Yeah, until everything starts spewing out of them, they're really cute. Until that point. Our next story here, we're going to go up to Canada. So put on your hiking boots and your backpacks. We're going to go traveling up there. But while you're up there in Canada, the health official up there says taking pure ecstasy is safe. So if you need ecstasy and you're in Canada, you're all set to go. Now, the British top health official said that pure ecstasy can be safe when consumed responsibly by adults, despite warning by police of the dangers of the street drug after a rash of deaths.
Oh, let me talk.
You'll get your moment here, just a moment. That they say the pure substance synonymous with ecstasy are overblown. That's why the lethal dangers arise when gangs mix and man-made chemicals with other toxic substances. I don't use drugs myself, but I'm for the legalization of them. So this way, if they're regulated, this way that the government will have another stream of income. You take the power away from the gangs. It's no different than prohibition. If you take the difference away from the power away from the gangs, then the gang warfare goes away. I know they had this whole issue on drugs. If it's like cigarettes and alcohol, if they're regulated, then you can control it a little bit better. Drugs are something that need to be controlled by regulation, not by trying to lock everybody up because they're using or dealing. I mean, dealers. I'm not fond of dealers because they sell it to kids and people who can't deal with it.
Down on their luck,
right? And they're using this as an escape. That's a whole other issue. But responsible adults. If you're a responsible adult, then by all means, if that's what you want, go for it. I'll just say, just don't bring it on me. My job requires I do not have drugs in my system, and they're very, very apt on that. So, but that's just my thoughts on there. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, could they legalize marijuana first?
Yeah, let's work on marijuana, at least in this country.
Which has less side effects, and I have fibromyalgia, and so I am a drug user. I use small amounts of marijuana to, deal with my chronic pain. And I would dearly love to see drugs regulated because for one reason specifically, and that would take crime off the streets.
Yes.
I would really like to take crime off the streets. Being a victim of a home invasion robbery, you know, I don't know what those guys that came into my house thought they were going to get, but they wanted cocaine.
Yeah.
And they wanted money. And if cocaine had been legal, they could have gone down and bought their little cocaine and been happy.
Right.
Instead of breaking into my house and scaring the hell out of me and all my kids. So, yeah, I am for across-the-board legalization of drugs. But I don't think that we can take this as a party favor type of legislation where we just legalize ecstasy.
Right.
We just arbitrarily pick ecstasy. I remember back in the 80s when it came out in Time magazine that cocaine was okay for you to take. That was good for you.
I didn't remember ever seeing that, but
oh yeah.
I was in my early. Let's see. No, I was 10.
Oh well, now you're dating me, you little stinker. I'm gonna put my coat hanger on when I get it from the GOP. Spank your button wherever you are. I can say BGT on the air, can't I?
Spank that ass.
That's my opinion. There.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of legalizing drugs, and I even probably agree to legalize all drugs all the time, and then take all the money that we spend on enforcement and incarceration and funnel it back into educational programs to warn people about the dangers and and the proper use of these drugs in a safe way. The way we have alcohol awareness. And maybe it's not as good as a job as we should do, but we don't have people drinking grain alcohol all the time, all day long. People consume it in limited quantities. It's too much for some people, but it's beer. 5% beer compared to 90% grain alcohol. A big difference. So
exactly.
The same thing here with drugs. I mean, you can. You could market lower potency stuff that still gives you the effect that you want. It's still safe to use, responsible. At home, nobody's saying that you're going to go to work with it or you're going to drive with it, or So yeah, it's
exactly. If you're gonna,
it's always like to scare people. The science is not coming out saying ecstasy is good for you. Like everybody should be going to use ecstasy. They're making the point that hey, we looked at it. The pure form of ecstasy, not been cut with any poisons, and it's not that it's not going to kill you if you use it like a normal person.
Right.
So they're not encouraging it; they're just stating a fact.
Right. And the cops exactly, and the cops are not real happy about it. But I understand. But they're cops are never happy when anybody does anything that they don't like. But
well, that means less arrests for them, and they need more arrests. So.
Exactly. That's less money coming in. If they can't arrest you for drugs, then we have no money coming in. So.
Less policemen on the street.
Yes, exactly. But this whole story reminds me of it's an old TV show called Sliders, and they would bounce from world to world, and one of the worlds where everybody was medicated, and everything was legalized. So it's like, I could take my dosage and everything like that. So it's like
we're all medicated now on pharmaceuticals, so why not?
No, but I mean everybody. I mean this. You'd have to see the episode. Everybody is like, "Oh wow, man!" They're like, everybody's relaxed,
happy. Nobody's stabbing each other.
Right? Exactly. It's like, I'm. You seem a little upset. I think you time to need some medication. Okay. Okay. But.
Come on, honey.
Yeah, there you go.
Up.
But yeah, no. It's just I understand that. I'm not saying all drugs are bad, but in moderation and just done properly, I don't see a problem with it. I really don't.
For recreation, I don't see a problem with it either. That I'm assuming is the use that they will be put to. Some people like a martini, some people like a joint, some people like a line.
Yeah. I like soda. So actually, for me, if you want to see, for me, I can't get drunk. I can get a slight buzz, But that's as far as if you want to see it look like I'm completely intoxicated, just deprive me of sleep for a while, and then for like 24 hours, and then you would think I was 3 sheets to the wind. Honestly, my body chemistry is really bizarre. Well, let's get into our next topic.
Give me the news.
Now, if you're out in Phoenix or the Arizona area, and you're coming along and you're walking down the street, and you say, "Oh, someone dropped a flashlight. Don't pick it up." Apparently, they've been rigged with bombs. People, they flick on the flashlight to see if it lights up, and it doesn't light up. And instead, it just explodes. I don't understand why people are doing this kind of stuff. That if you find something random on the street, you're like, hey, 3 flashlight. Let's see if it worked. Boom. Why? There's if anything that could be happening that you're doing. Don't put stuff in flashlight. Don't build home bombs. I mean, that's just stupid. Medusa, your thoughts?
Oh, I've been following this case for a while. It is a real tragedy, I'm not surprised it's happening in Arizona, though.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
No. The ATF say the bombs appear to have been made by the same people. Their designs are identical, so we've got another little Teddy Kaczynski on our hands in Arizona.
He's in jail, so we know it's not him.
We know it's not Theodore. That's right.
Yes.
He's being a good boy. He just put himself on the Harvard honor roll or something, I heard the other day.
I haven't heard that, but
I didn't know you could do that from Leavenworth.
Neither did I.
You can. But no, you can't. It's a sad world we live in, where you're walking down the street, you see a yellow flashlight. It is your first inclination to pick it up and turn it on or off, and very, very salacious, very, very. I don't know what the words I want to use. Very underhanded.
Yes.
Bomber, the way he's coming about this. Children are likely to find a flashlight and think of it as a toy and pick it up.
Absolutely.
And that's what they said they're really afraid of, are kids, running around picking these things up. And they've had PSAs in schools to warn the children not to pick up these yellow flashlights or any flashlight at all that they see lying around. So
yeah, it's hate to think that like you see a flashlight laying on the ground, you have to call the ATF because it might be a bomb.
Well, you're in Arizona. Get your gun out. Look for the guy.
No, that's interesting. That it makes you wonder if there's people there. They're hanging around to see if someone actually picks these things up and watch them explode. That would be really sick. But
we're dealing with the psychopath here, so they are really sick.
Yes.
And they could very well be watching to see who picks that flashlight up. But they won't be doing that now because the ATF is onto them, and I'm sure they've got their cameras out.
Oh, I hope so. I hope they catch this guy. I mean, they're offering
real quick.
Yeah, they're offering a $10,000 reward for tips that lead to the arrest or conviction of these people. So if you're out there, out in Twitterville, out on the YouTube or whatever, and you know who's doing this, please contact the authorities. These people need to be stopped.
They definitely do.
Yes, Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what people are thinking. I guess I do know they're thinking. They just. They can do it. People do whatever. If somebody can think of something to do, they're gonna go ahead and do it. That's the way people are.
And get away with it.
Yes, and somebody thought this is doesn't look like it's any kind of. It's not politically motivated. It's not terrorism. It's somebody who figured out how to rig a bomb inside of a flashlight and thinks it's a neat idea to leave them out for people to turn on and get a surprise, and it's
yeah. In all honesty, you're right. It in the weirdest sense of way, it is a neat idea. They should do this over in those countries over those other countries right there. Give them to the Taliban. Here's a flashlight. Give it to them. Don't put it on our streets. Flashlight for all Taliban. Yay! Boom.
It's like a mini IED.
That's exactly it. It's exactly what it is. An IED. For anybody who's out there who doesn't know what IED means, it's an improvised explosive device. So But yeah, no, don't do this in this country. That's really stupid. It makes me wonder if there's a terrorist group. Now, just coming to thinking about it, wonder if there's a terrorist group behind it on this. Not trying to scare anybody, but just
No, but one never knows.
yes, but you never know. That's exactly what this could be, or it could just be someone who just, as Wayne said, it just, or you said, I don't remember who said it, but just someone who's just a sick individual.
Yeah. Yeah, but they could be evolving if they get away with this for too long.
Yes, absolutely.
Starts out with flashlights, and then we move on to something else.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what they're going to move on to next. It just bothers me that these people are out there they're out there doing this. But I mean, nothing I can do about it from where I am. But people are out there. If you see a flashlight, look around, see who might be hanging around, and then call the ATF, call the police, and then see what happens. But anyway, all right. Well, let's get moving on to our next topic. Now, speaking of bombs, the Catholics planned a bomb attack on a gay parade. Now, that Catholics nationalists in Croatia are planning to petrol bomb a gay parade on Saturday in the city of Split.
Yes, that's true.
Split. That's the name of the city. Split.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Wow. Okay. Now this is another country, of course. Now last week. This is contrast to the Mormons coming out to supporting the gays that we talked about last week. Now it's a Facebook group that's protesting the gay parade that posted, and they posted a picture of gas bombs that said they're going to be thrown at participants. Now, I have said this before that religion poisons everything. And with this, there's a good example right there of religion poisoning yet another system. These people are scum. And I'm not talking about all Catholics, just these particular Catholics that wanted to blow up these people because they're gay and they're having a parade. I mean, does it really hurt them that they're having a parade? No, they just because they don't like it. They get all upset and go, well, we're going to blow you up. If that doesn't shock you, then there is something wrong with you. And if you think this is okay, there is something wrong with you and you're mentally deficient. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, technically, I don't even consider these people Catholics. They're Croatians. And they're just bad people who are, again, with the bombs, just a peaceful parade of peaceful people, and we have to get in the middle of it and turn it into something sordid and ugly. It's just, human rights organizations the world over should just be aghast at this, and I would hope that they would show up at this gay pride parade. I would love to see Amnesty International show up there and support, and other LGBT gay aid organizations. I don't want to see the parade stopped at all. I want to see the parade grow in mass so that the people can show them that we are not afraid of you. We are not afraid of your religion. Your religion is antiquated, it is violent, it's sordid, it's dirty, it's fetid, it's vile, and by your actions you are showing who you truly are. You're not Catholics, you're just a bunch of thugs.
Yes.
Dressing up in religious robes, trying to make yourself look like you're justified in doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And you cannot do that.
Yes.
So,
yeah, even the Prime Minister, the Zoran
Milanovic.
Thank you. It said that the eyes of the European Union will be focused on Split on Sunday, and the gay population does not threaten anyone. We just have to accept them. And that's exactly it. They need to just accept them. And I really wish they would, but I mean, there's just people out there. Their religion calls for them to go after gay people, and it's really disgusting. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was last week. The parade happened already, and nothing came of the bombs. The mayor, whatever his name was again, he pushed big effort telling people just ignore the parade. And of course, he wasn't supporting the bombs, but he's not supporting the parade either. And he just told people stay away from the parade. The parade got very little attention. There were a few arrests at the parade, but it was people mostly involved, only like a few people, 4 or 5 people arrested, people involved with the parade, pro-parade people. One person was arrested for yelling at the parade. So
Okay.
So it was a big story of possible, international terrorism and or whatever, crazy happenings of fire bombs and it turned out to be. I think the publicity really helped. The story got out, the whole world looked, and then cooler heads prevailed. But
I think maybe they just were afraid of getting arrested. Like, oh my gosh, they're onto us. We can't stop now.
Yeah,
Well, Wayne's just
so.
got a beautiful brain, a bottomless pit of information. I like that about Wayne.
I'm just glad. I'm glad that they didn't. There was no attack. At least, I mean, I didn't see that. This is from last week, but it's yes, it's from June 8th. Yeah. Apparently, I caught it earlier in the week, so it was just the fact that it's. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But
I love Wayne's brain.
Yes. But I'm just glad that apparently there was no gay pride marches that had been organized in Bosnia, Herzegovina, Macedonia, or Kosovo, but one had happened in Albania last month. So I'm just glad at least they're coming out in other locations.
They're trying. They're making a real effort.
Yes, they are.
And in that region of the world, let me tell you, that is difficult to do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so they're very brave.
Yes. And the religious population has not made it easy on gay people.
Oh, heck no.
And the fact, or anybody that doesn't believe the same thing they believe, for that matter. So, but anyway, on to our next story here. A gay priest defies the Pope. It says the Catholics should vote no on a Minnesota marriage ban. So if they're out there saying, hey, Pope, that people in want to get married, we're going to fully support them. I just wish that the Catholic Church would get off this anti-gay message. It really is, because they don't realize that they're just hurting themselves in the long run. The pastor is Father Bob Pearson, I believe that's his name, argued that in paragraph 1782 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church allows Catholics to make their own decisions in cases where their conscience is not in agreement with the Church doctrine. I really wish more people would know that, so that way they would vote, or they would say, hey, just because the Bible says that gay people, that we should be doing bad things to gay people because they're gay, or we should be shunning them or putting them out, that maybe we should be pushing the.
Maybe we should boot out intolerant people.
There you go. Let's work with that too. Medusa, your thoughts?
And that's my thought. Maybe we should boot out intolerant people. They make life very difficult for the rest of us.
Yes, they do.
And let's not forget that this priest here, he's got a brain like Wayne. He recalled that a, quote, young theologian named Joseph Ratzinger, who was now what?
The Pope.
Oh, the Popa, El Popa, used to teach that people should follow their own inner voice.
Right.
The Popa said that. Our Holy Father taught in 1967 that we must obey our own conscience, even if it puts us at odds with the Pope. Well, I'll bet he wishes those words were cupcakes and he could eat them now.
Yes.
I doubt that he knew that he was going to be Pope when he said that.
Exactly. I bet
But he's much too busy now with all the nefarious going on with all the child pedophile cases.
Oh yeah.
That the Catholic Church has to deal with. But yeah, I don't think he knew he was going to be Pope when he said that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the fact is that these people are pushing back against the Catholic Church, even even as in some of these churches is pushing back on this. I mean, if the people out there would start realizing that there's nothing wrong with being gay, and if gay people want to get married, let them get married. Personally, and I've said this on almost every show when we talk about marriage. If no one should get married, don't get married. It's a pain in the ass.
Please don't.
Buy a puppy.
Get a dog.
Get a dog. Buy a puppy. Get a kitty. No, but or just live together. There's nothing wrong with that too. But if you want to get married, I don't see any problem anybody getting married as long as it's legal, is between and consenting between two grown adults. If two men, two women, or a man and woman, what doesn't matter. If you want to get married, get married. Who cares? It's not going to affect me or my property rights, my property values, or whatever. Just if you want to get married, go ahead, do it. I mean, but remember, that's a decision you're stuck with until the courts make the money, getting divorced.
Exactly, and that's what's the issue here.
Yes.
When you come down my pike,
yes,
come
exactly.
into my court. Mm-hmm.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, my first thought when I read this was a priest using the Pope's words against him. Is that a cardinal sin?
Good question.
Venal.
But I think it buried in here. There's kind of a message that I think sometimes gets lost. Even religious people, you can be against gay marriage all you want. We just don't need to change the laws to prevent them outside your church.
Right.
Nobody is stopping your church from believing whatever wacky little things you want to believe and whatever little rituals you want to have. Go ahead. Religious freedom. Yeah. It was like that Michigan lawmaker in the earlier story was saying to the other lawmakers, I don't push my religion on you through the law. Don't use the law to push your religion on me. And it's the same thing here. I think this priest probably is in favor of gay marriage. Just in general. I mean, they mentioned in the article that he's gay, so maybe he is. But he could be completely against it and still have the same position as a matter of conscience. That yes, I don't think we should have laws on the books, especially the Constitution of our state, that says gay people can't get married because it's got nothing to do with our religion.
That's right.
Our religion is what our church does. It's a community activity, and that doesn't need to be legislated at the state level. It's
yes,
ridiculous.
Exactly. And anybody who studies history knows that marriages have been around long before the church has been even established. People were getting married long before Catholicism or Judaism or Christianity came around. Was around long before that. And if two people who love each other want to be next to each other, want to share the same bed and have all the sex, whatever they want, although marriage isn't about sex, as Dan said a couple weeks ago, marriage is about sex, and believe me, being when I was married, that's exactly what it is.
No, because sex is about property rights and who gets the house, and who gets the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How much I can hurt you through the court process. No, I've been through all that. No, don't get married, please. Don't show up in my court.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, let's get into our next topic. And our funny tweet comes tonight from Bad Astronomer. And he says, if I ever want to go to an alien planet, I'm bringing a Geiger counter. And hashtag things I learned from sci-fi movies. So, if you're going to go to an alien planet, bring your Geiger counter. Because you never know what you're going to find there.
I'm just not a practical gal.
Yes. Medusa, your thoughts?
I'm just not a practical gal. I'm going to have to go out and get a Geiger counter. Now, I hope they have them on Amazon.com. Because that's where I like to shop a lot.
Yes.
So after the show, I'll get my Geiger counter. I'll be ready for the end of the world.
There you go.
I'm good to go now.
There you go. At least you'll, the Geiger counter reminds me of Mad Max. Beyond Thunderdome. He's walking along, and he's like, "You want some water?" And he takes out his Geiger counter, and the guy starts laughing. Ah, he's gonna kill you, and take all your stuff. But you figured me out. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, Bad Astronomer is Phil Plait. So
Yes.
if you guys don't know Phil Plait, he has a blog on Discovery Magazine, Bad Astronomy. Is his blog, and he's the Bad Astronomer, and he's a very active member of the Skeptic and Science Education.
He had his own TV show for a short time too.
And if you don't follow him on Twitter, I definitely look him up, Bad Astronomer, and read his blog. He's funny. He's articulate. He's really big on anti-vaxxers and climate change deniers.
Yep.
Two of his pet projects that he just really get him riled up.
Right.
And he's also very famous for talking about the moon illusion, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're out there on Twitter, give him a follow and tell me you heard him on the show. Okay, well, let's get into our shout-out for this week. Our shout-out this week comes from me, and my shout-out is for Bob Smearfack, but not really. He's out on Twitter. He doesn't tweet a whole lot, but he has a YouTube channel. It's under the same name, Bob Smearfack. He teaches about the Bible and everything like that. He's an atheist, and a lot of it is comic-based drawings, and it's real simple, but he puts it in language it's really easy to understand. So, and that's the way he when he announces the name of his show, he goes, "I'm Bob Smearfack, but not really." So if he's a great show, he's got a great channel out on YouTube there, and I really enjoy his material. He does not get enough hits on his channels, or at least on that one, but I think he really deserves it. So if you're out there on Twitter or on YouTube, look up Bob Smearfack and listen and tell him you heard him on the show. All right, let's get into our question of the week.
Excuse me.
I have a question.
I have a question, sir.
What are you doing? I'm asking you a question.
Tonight's question comes from Dan, but he's not here. The question he came up with... Whoops, wrong profile. He came up with, what fictional character would you vote for U.S. President this year? Medusa, what fictional character would you vote for President this year?
Fictional character?
Yes, fictional character.
I don't have to be logical?
No.
I can be completely just off the wall?
Sure.
Okay.
Fiction. That's what I said. Fictional character. Oh, that's.
I want to vote for somebody who gets the job done and gets it done fast. I'm voting for the Joker, but I'm voting for the type of Joker that Heath Ledger played. That guy. That's who I'm voting for. Because all he needs is a little bit of money, a little bit of gas, and he's good to go. And he makes changes, and people listen to him. So my vote goes to the Joker. Because we need to get things done fast, and I'm tired of waiting.
Yes. Wayne, who would you vote for? Who would you vote for U.S. President this year? A fictional character.
Well, for president, I want somebody who's going to be strong on defense, a strategic genius, but yet articulate with diplomacy and a strong moral center. And who else could that be but Captain Jean-Luc Picard?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go. That's good.
That would be a good one. That would be.
I just want chaos.
I myself, I would choose the. Although he'd probably end up not spending most of the time here, but I did choose the Doctor because this way we know everything would be solved logically, and he'd figure out everything right off the bat. That's my fictional character from this year, who I picked for president. But we had a question from last week, but I didn't get any responses, so we're not going to even bother with it. So, but if you have it's the person you would like to have as a fictional character who you would vote for U.S. president this year, send it to me, to Dan, to Medusa, to Joe, or to Wayne with the hashtag WWPPA. And I know I haven't said that much on the last few shows, but definitely give them a message telling who you would vote for this year and send it to me. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, put it down in the comment section below, and we'll put it up on the show. Okay, that's it for us tonight. We are actually done, despite our late start. Thank you for everybody coming and to all the new people in the chat room. And thank you for showing up and having a good time with us here tonight. If you would like to come and join us in the chat room, go to justin.tv/PackardPokesat at 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time or Chicago time, whichever one you're closest to there. And sign up for the account. The account's free. Then you can come and join us in the chat room, and you can talk with us while we're doing the show. If you would like to check the show out later on, if you can't watch it live, or you're listening to this on the podcast, if you would like to actually see the show, go to youtube.com/PackardPokesat, and you can get the show and see it all visually right there. So, again, that is us for... and if you would like to get the information for the show, the comments, and all the stories we did tonight, go to PackardPokesat.wordpress.com, and the comments will be, or the show will be right there. The show notes, rather. I had a nap and everything. I don't understand my craziness tonight. So anyway, probably the computer acting up is probably screwing me up tonight. But anyway, while you're there at PackardPokesat.wordpress.com, there's a donation button there. If you would like to make a donation to the show, just drop a few dollars in there, and it'll help me keep the show going and keep these mindless errors from driving me crazy. So, all right. Well, thank you again, Wayne, for filling in for Dan and Joe at the last minute, and Medusa for waking up and for the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
I need my beauty sleep.
You were saying, Wayne?
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Oh, you're welcome.
We had a lot of fun with you and your beautiful brain.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have to have you on the show again sometime soon. All right. Well, this has been...
I'll have to arrange an accident then.
There you go.
Don't go to Arizona or Florida then. That's your best chance.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly. All right. Well, that's been Packard Pokesat. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.